Welcome back to PerpTech Daily. I'm Aaron. In today's video, we got a lot to cover. We're going to be covering the Hyperliquid buybacks that will be happening later this year. Lighter has some big updates as well. And at the end of this video, as we've started doing, we're going to be covering the meme coin space. PumpFun has been absolutely rocketing. Meteora starting to take off as well. So there's a lot to cover in today's episode. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to look at, as always, is the Hyperliquid price. Hyperliquid's not looking too great right now in the short term. In the long term, I'm going to be explaining why I do think it's at a discounted price right now, and I do think we're at a good range, which I'll be covering later in this video. But it's trading around 58 bucks right now. It's still in this pocket right here, as you can see here, still in this range. But to be truthfully honest with you guys, I do see a world where it could break down out of this range in the coming months. It's very possible, but I do also think the market is discounting something that is supposed to be happening later this year with Hyperliquid and Lighter as well, but Hyperliquid has more stable coins on their network. So now we take a look at the Lighter price. Lighter actually ran a little bit in the past couple of days. If we go down to a 1 hour time frame, you can see it ran from about, I don't know, $2 to about 220, 228, 230, and now it's come down to 219. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Lighter is going to be able to hold its ground if Hyperliquid breaks down. Lighter traditionally has been seen as, I'm saying traditionally, it's pretty funny because both these protocols are very new, but anyways, has been seen as a beta play to Hyperliquid. So when Hyperliquid goes up, Lighter goes up, and when Hyperliquid goes down, Lighter goes down. That's what I mean by beta. And now we're going to see if Lighter can kind of stand on its own and hold its ground, because Hyperliquid and Lighter have very different valuations. I think Hyperliquid's valued 30 times higher than Lighter right now, something around that. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see if Lighter can kind of decouple price-wise. I do think that will happen in the future. I just don't know if it'll happen yet because Lighter is still a lot smaller than Hyperliquid. But take a look at PumpFun. Really the star of crypto in the past, couple weeks or so, really the past week, breaking out. And we've been talking about PumpFun on this channel. If you follow me on X, which you should, link in the description, I've been talking about PumpFun this entire time. It's been really frustrating holding this coin, to be completely honest, and I do think it's still grossly undervalued, just based on their numbers and their revenue and everything, which we'll get into later in this video. But it's good to see it finally breaking out. I think this was actually the bottom back here. It's just been a really tough hold. Something I've been championing on Twitter, but it's been pretty hard to champion when the price actions kind of look like absolute dog shit to like the past couple of weeks, which is pretty cool. And Meteora, another coin I think is really grossly undervalued. It's sitting around under 100 million market cap, and it makes a ton of fees, which we'll get into later in this video, sitting around here. But anyways, let's go to the Hyperliquid eco page. As you can see, there's just not too many buybacks right now, around 700K. That's really good for any sort of normal coin. But I do think it's possible in the next couple of, I think it's possible it does break down out of this structure before making the next leg up to $100, which I do think will eventually happen. Now I want to go to a stat, and I want to talk about something that I feel like the market's kind of discounting right now. And this is normally how it is. And we saw this on Lighter. If you've been watching this YouTube channel from the beginning, or if you've been following me on Twitter before, we had been talking about the Robinhood Lighter thing. And when that partnership actually got announced, I remember when the price moved of Lighter, I think from $1 to $1.50, and all these people on Twitter were saying, oh, these are all the insiders buying up. These are all the insiders buying up. It's going to dump now. It's going to dump now. I remember people on Twitter actually saying that. You wouldn't believe it. And the Robinhood partnership gets announced on Twitter by Robinhood and Lighter and all that stuff. And it turns out the market had not priced in the Robinhood Lighter partnership. And basically, I guess nobody knew about it because the price then went from like $1.50 to, I don't know. If we look here, if we go to the Lighter price, it went from like here to here. Went on a nice fucking run. And the market hadn't priced in the Robinhood Lighter partnership. And I still don't think it's fully priced in because we haven't seen the full capabilities of it through the license, etc. But that's a different can of worms. And I don't think right now the market is pricing in for Hyperliquid or Lighter, and especially Hyperliquid, the spot stablecoin revenue buybacks are going to be happening later this year. Okay, now let's get into it and how I feel about this. Okay, so if you take a look at this right now, there's about $2.6 billion worth of USDC on the Hyperliquid platform, and they have a yield revenue sharing deal with Circle. Hyperliquid does. Lighter has the same fucking deal. Okay, they just have less stable coins than Hyperliquid does on their network. Okay, but take a look at this post I made on Twitter. Hype has their first USDC revenue funded buyback on October 3rd. They do not do their first USDC revenue funded buyback until October 3rd. Okay, there hasn't been one yet, and there won't be one yet until October 3rd. At least that's what they're saying. Of course, they could change plans, whatever, but that's just based on the information I've gathered for you all. And then after October 3rd, they will start doing a revenue sharing buyback from the USDC they have on their network every 30 days. This is not the same as the fees buyback that typically happens, already. All right? And this buyback is probably going to be a 9-figure plus buyback, which means $100 million plus, very likely. And the more stable coins that get on the network, the more they make. This is all you have to think of, to put it very simply here, okay? So if you take a look at earlier this year, February 24th, and you take a look at where we're at right now, the stablecoin growth on the network has gone exponentially. If this chart continues, it's probably not going to move as exponential as it has this year, but in the next 5 years, if this chart just continues to kind of go up and to the right, let's say it gets to 10 billion, the more stable coins that are on Hyperliquid and Lighter, the more the platforms make. It is literally honestly the easiest money they are making. They do not need more users, they just need more stable coins when it comes to this revenue sharing buyback program. And there's a guy named Andy who runs the roll up who's talking about this. I'm talking about it, but I'm not fucking big. What? I have 40 subscribers. I love you guys, but I only have 45 subscribers. I'm not fucking Altcoin Daily with 1 million fucking subscribers. So at the end of the day, it's like nobody even is talking about the 9-figure buyback that's gonna come, and the fact that then they're gonna start doing a second buyback program off something that's literally gonna absolutely print for them. They are going to make a gross amount of money off this yield sharing deal. And this number is probably going to keep going up and to the right. The market, I do not think has priced this in at all. Okay. And I could be wrong. But I saw this happen before with Lighter. People with Lighter, I do not understand why they just, back even like just a month and a half ago, whatever, they just ignored the Robinhood thing. They just act like it didn't exist, and not a lot of people knew about it. I guess not many content creators or whatever were talking about it or whatever, but the market had not priced it in. And we saw Lighter completely take off, and now people are starting to realize and calculate, oh, well, if they actually get on the main app, once you get the license, like how many users could Lighter get, blah, 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 and all the speculation starts to come. And I think the market, once again, we all understand how crypto Twitter works, how this thing works. Well, maybe you don't understand, and a lot of it is momentum based. And right now, if we're just being honest, the perp deck scene does not have the same type of, attention. Lighter has good momentum. Hyperliquid, in terms of like people talking about on Twitter right now, not that many people, which is good. This is opportunity. But most of the attention right now is on the PumpFun and meme coin shit. Okay? And you have to realize that the market is just not pricing in this massive buyback that's going to happen, and then the buybacks that will occur every 30 days, okay? And I don't want to make this whole fucking video about this, but I really want to hammer this point home for you guys. And it's not, and once again, October is in a couple months, which sucks, okay? I get it, guys. It's not, this is the reality of investing in crypto. You have times and periods when things go like this, and you have times and periods where things go like this. So that's it. But anyways, I don't want to make this whole story about it, but show about this stablecoin thing, but it's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind that, hey guys, the more this chart goes to the right, the more money Hyperliquid gets, and they just haven't started their buyback programs. Neither is Lighter, for that fact of the matter. Anyways, let's go to Lighter now. Let's talk about it. So in the past 24 hours, Lighter's done $1.4 billion. Open interest is starting to go up a little more. Pretty cool stuff going on. Not too much to talk about. If we just go to the token and look at the buyback activity, we can see the buyback activity is going up and everything. And this is lighterdata.io. If you want to check this out, it's basically the only real analytics page strictly for Lighter stuff that exists. So lighterdata.io. If you also want to follow the page, yes, I do run this Twitter page. If you want to go follow this, you can follow it on Twitter, Lighter Data. I'm posting all the metrics and stuff like that. I did not make this platform. My buddy made the platform. I'm just, running the Twitter for it. So pretty cool stuff. Anyways, let's talk about what happened here for Lighter. Okay. battle tests a runaway bot versus a risk engine. And I don't really want to go deep into this because I already talked about the stablecoin stuff for, I probably ranted for like what, 4 or 5 minutes there. And all you have to know out of this is in the past week, basically somebody had a bot, which is typical. People have bots running on these trading platforms, and the bot basically malfunctioned and freaked out and did a bunch of crazy things. And this put the Lighter protocol at test because the bot basically just went absolutely bananas. Okay, so the account was funded with 500K, and then it just went it was like chill for the first 10 days apparently, and then it just went absolutely nuts. And all you have to know about it, really, the takeaway from this story is a bot was on there, went absolutely bananas, and the platform was able to handle it completely fine, which is really good. It shows the strength of the platform. It shows how, it's flexible and all those things, because once again, it's like, with these platforms and these trading platforms, they basically have to handle anything. And this was a really good battle test because you're dealing with the computer that's just going absolutely bananas. Which is also another thing I kind of want to point out is like, this is why I'm not like the whole AI agent thing, a small tangent. It's like, yeah, I understand the bot stuff. And if you're really smart and you're technical and you know how to use bots, like, more power to you. But I think a lot of the AI agent bot shit just kind of fucking sucks. If you're not like super smart and you don't know how to like completely program and control them and stuff. I don't know. I think it's a bit overhyped. But anyways, to the next story, we're going to be talking about the PumpFun token, some of the meme coin stuff, because it's pretty important. Take a look at this. Ansem is saying this on Twitter, and this is really like pretty powerful. So if you look at the Pump token, it's been down in the fucking dumps, okay? And it's been a rough ride. I'm just gonna call it how it is, all right? So, but I've been a fan of Pump for a long time. They make a fuck ton of money, and I've been, just promoting on Twitter this entire year, and it's just the Pump price action has been absolute dog shit. And now it's starting to move up again, which is good because of the data. And let's talk about this real quick. In the past 7 days, PumpFun did the most fees, did the most money in crypto besides Tether stablecoin issuer and Circle stablecoin issuer, the most. And if you go to 30 days, it's 4, and it's normally honestly 3 or 4. It's either behind Hyperliquid and right now Uniswap because of Robinhood Chain. We'll see how long Uniswap's able to hold up in this top fees ranking. But it's really Hyperliquid, Pump, and then Hyperliquid and Pump are pretty much 1 and 2 flip-flopping for most fees if you exclude Tether and Circle. But PumpFun, the market is starting to realize, hey, meme coins are never going to die. This is the reality of it. You can cope, cry, whatever, hate PumpFun, call it an extraction vehicle, whatever. The market loves meme coins. And meme coins are pretty much just people gambling and speculation. So if you think after thousands of years, humans are going to stop gambling and speculating, then I don't know, it's kind of stupid. But I personally believe that PumpFun is grossly undervalued because people are starting to realize that PumpFun meme coins will never die because humans have always been speculators and gamblers, And this is the main meme coin platform. So, Ansem puts on this tweet, take a look at this here. This is Hype's market cap, by the way, compared to PumpFun on this chart, which I think this is a crazy looking chart. Now, obviously, there's a big difference between, I don't want to get into it, but there's a massive difference between PumpFun's tokenomics and Hyperliquid's tokenomics and their buyback programs, all this stupid shit. I don't think PumpFun's going to be able to flip Hyperliquid. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Okay, but what I am saying is going to happen is I do think PumpFun can go on a nice run. I do think a $10 billion valuation in a bull market, whenever that bull market comes, isn't a crazy take. Maybe it is. Maybe we'll look back and call me an idiot, but we'll see. And the other platform I want to talk about is Meteora. If you go down here, it's not a top platform, but take a look at this. Meteora sitting at 31. 31. It's above FOMO. It's above Trade XYZ, above Ethereum chain, above Phantom. And it's only at, I think, an $80 million market cap right now. I mean, that's gross. But those are kind of my thoughts. I love looking at the numbers. I love looking at the data. And I kind of like to pick based on how much money they're making and stuff like that. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's show, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure to go follow me on X. And yeah, thank you for watching.